The brown trout, a paragon among fish, a native to the clear, crystal waters of the spring-fed streams of southern England. A wild, wily and powerful predator. And for many fishermen, catching them is the epitome of the angling art. John Goddard is a top-class fisherman, an amateur entomologist and author of books on the insect food of trout.
I tell you what, I reckon he'd go about 3.5, 4 pound.
Brian Clarke works in industry, but is also an author, columnist and expert angler. And they're fishermen with a difference. They let nearly all the fish they catch go. Their interest is trying to catch the uncatchable, or at least the very difficult fish. Fishing these world-famous waters is a very different business from dangling a worm on a hook. The pair often fish together.
Yes, he's definitely well worth having a go at, that fish. He looks very nice. He's in rather a tricky position. He's just downstream of that bush. I can just see him vaguely in the sun.
Oh,
there he is. There he rose then.
Okay, I've got him marked.
Okay.
I've got him marked. Wind's a bit awkward. I'm going to try him with the BWO, John.
They're using a traditional dry fly pattern, an artificial creation of fur and feather that mimics an insect emerging from the water.
You want to be a little closer in, I think. He's not going to move out.
I'll try with
the current's coming right down and curling round behind that bush, and he's sort of laying just on the edge of the current. And unless you get that fly right over him, he's not going to move out, I don't think. And he looks to me the sort of fish that's not going to move to take the fly very far. No!
Damn! I don't think he'll come again. That was the drag.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. There's no doubt about it. He definitely came short to it.
He's a very educated fish. See, if he takes that done, I'll give him another try. He did. I'll give him one more throw. Do you see he's moved out a yard?
Yeah.
Oh, he's never going to take that again.
No, I think you're right. Sure he won't. Why not put on one of our new USB paradigms and try that?
Yes, that's
he's one of those. He's obviously a very educated fish, and I don't think he's going to take the standard pattern. So we may as well try one of our new ones.
Try him with the blue-winged olive. That's a good idea.
What, our new paradigm blue-winged olive, you mean?
That's the boy.
Right.
This immaculate copy of a small species of mayfly is one of Clarke and Goddard's new patents. It's been developed from a remarkable series of observations and experiments on how a trout actually perceives natural and artificial flies on the water's surface. But will it work where the traditional pattern has failed?
You see what the drag is? You see it's bellying the line, and the wind won't allow me to puddle the cast.
There's quite a lot of fly coming down now, and I've just seen there's a...
Got him!
Well done! Well done!
Got him! My God, look at that fish move! Look at that fish move!
That's it. Oh, he's quite a nice fish with it.
Yes, he's a... Okay, Joe. Come on.
Okay.
It's a beautiful fish.
And he was obviously a very agitated fish. He
Yes,
just
indeed.
didn't want to know.
Come on, little chap. Nobody's going to
And
hurt
at the
you.
last moment he changed his mind.
Nobody's going to hurt you. And off he goes.
But what is it that makes the fishing here so desirable? At a 50-mile crow's flight from London, these waters so special? The answer is at the source, on the rolling downlands of Berkshire and Wiltshire. The key is the underlying rock here, chalk. The thin, dry soil has a unique variety of flowers, found only where calcium is plentiful. Thyme and rare rampion. The lesser butterfly orchid, rock rose and bird's foot trefoil. Many kinds of orchids grow here among the quaking grass. This is one of the rarest of all, and a startling floral mimic, the fly orchid, its head complete with antennae and eyes to fool its pollinator. Any rain falling here, not sucked up by the roots, disappears quickly below ground. Chalk is very porous. At lower levels, it re-emerges in springs that feed the ancient meander of the infant river. The Kennet seems to suck the fields dry on either side, and the reservoir in the rock means a steady, even flow of filtered water, rich in minerals. Further down the valley, the water meadows provide lush grazing for the farms of large estates. It's been a very desirable place to live for centuries, and the fishing is exclusive too. On some of these waters, trying to catch trout can cost as much as £40 a day. The chalk dissolved in the water fertilizes the riverbanks far downstream, and they have their special plants too. Purple loosestrife and yellow flag. It's a rich world of insect and plant life. Willow and alder are the dominant trees in this natural wilderness. But it's here, within the stream, that its productive secret holds sway. Water weeds, natural aerators, and food and shelter for a myriad insects and crustaceans. Starwort and water crowfoot, mare's tail, it's a rich water pasture for insects and for the trout.
You know, I think Donald...
Clarke and Goddard have come to a beat on the River Kennet that they haven't fished before, so they're walking the bank first and looking for telltale signs of large fish.
You know, there seems to be a little bit of spinner about. We could get a good fall tonight. But it's a beautiful looking stretch of water.
It's absolutely glorious. I'm finding it awkward to see. I'm going to get my Polaroids on.
Yeah, sure,
Oh, that's
I
better.
will too.
That's better. They make a tremendous difference, don't they?
Spotting fish through the surface glare is helped by peaked caps and polarizing glasses, and their muted clothes camouflage them from a wary trout.
There's a fish, John. Small, do you see him?
Oh, yeah, yes. Yes, that's a typical life for a small fish in that thin, shallow water. I should think most of the better fish here will be over the other side in that deeper water there, where it runs down the bank.
Yes, it's a nice run, that. We'll remember that for tonight.
Good fishermen are usually good naturalists and astute observers of riverside life. Clarke and Goddard are no exception. Over the past 4 years, they've made a painstaking study of the trout's habits, and together have written a book on its behaviour and food. Trout are invariably difficult to spot. It takes years of experience to do it well. But one of their novel observations has been the discovery of fish by looking for white patches on the bed of chalk streams. The tail and fins scar away algae and debris as the fish swims continually to maintain its station. Clues like these are important in helping Brian and John to find their fish.
It does indeed.
And the water's beginning to shallow off. I like the look of it very much.
I like the look of that bank even more. Look at the deep underneath that bank. That's just got to be full of fish.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All the way around that crowfoot, you know, in the shade from the trees.
Yeah.
Let's see it round the corner. This is looking very interesting.
Look at that fish out there. That's a cracker.
Where?
A real beauty. Right at the head.
These lenses really do reduce surface reflection.
Oh, yes, I see him. Oh, absolutely.
2/3 over.
I see him. I see him. He just took a fly, too.
It looks pretty deep in front of me. Oh, no, it's not too bad.
No, it shallows out quite quickly. There's some nice...
Oh, look at that.
He was hidden in that pot.
That was quite a nice fish. He was right in that very thin water there.
As a result of centuries of angling interest, there's probably more known about the life of the brown trout than any other freshwater fish. And the big fish that thrive in the chalk streams have had special attention, both the trout and its food. For very simply, trout live in lies where they can get the maximum food from the minimum effort. They're seldom seen as clearly as this. The trout's a wary magician that can make himself disappear by sleight of fin. The angler looks all the time for a fish that's feeding, and trout are very selective. Much of the time, a trout takes nymphs that drift towards them on the current. Nymphs are the larval stages of aquatic insects. The merest white blink of the mouth shows it's taken a nymph. This fish is in a very typical lie. Upstream of the buttress of a bridge, the current brings a lane of food to the waiting fish. Not much effort is needed to stay here. The trout is cushioned by the back eddy. But this apparently sedentary way of life hides a constant vigilance, even in a juvenile fish. The unblinking eyes miss little. It's at the water's surface, though, that the trout provides a fisherman with his greatest thrill. The alchemy of light changes the fish for a silvery instant. The action frozen again. The insect target is ringed. But with a fly trapped on the surface, the rise is much more leisurely. Clarke and Goddard have spent many hours comparing the patterns of a trout's rise when it's taking different foods. Observation and recording require the same stealthy approach as with any other wild animal.